Hey y'all, I'm Duff Stoneson. I'm an LPC intern in Austin, Texas, and I'm making this video as a short introduction to a longer series of videos that I'm starting where I talk about just kind of a variety of topics relevant to psychotherapy that are things I've studied or things I just find interesting, maybe some things that I just find really relevant to what we're all going through. You know, I'm making this video during COVID, and a lot of us are sharing experiences, related to the isolation, the fear around the pandemic and all that stuff. But it lands differently for all of us, right? So what I want to do is just talk through the topics that I have in mind so that you know kind of what I'm cooking up. And I encourage you to drop a comment if you've got questions or thoughts or particular things that, come up that you'd like to hear me talk about. So the first topic is something I kind of call demystifying therapy. There's a variety of topics and questions and beliefs that I encounter a lot when I start my work with people that I've heard other therapists describe as well. And, that's stuff like, how do you pick a good therapist? How do you understand the differences between different kind of therapeutic modalities? Things about understanding trauma. There's a lot of information out there. Some of it's accurate and some of it's not exactly. And, the information in this field changes pretty quickly. So, just sharing what I've learned about those things, I think, can be really empowering for people. So I'm looking forward to doing that. One of the other things that I'm really passionate about is the intersection of social justice and psychotherapy. That's anti-racism, allyship. That's something where I don't consider myself an expert, of course, but it's something I've been working on for a number of years, and it's something that I've done a lot of my own personal growth around. So granted, I am a cisgender, heterosexual, white male, born in America, so I'm a person that has a lot of privilege. The reason I want to share what I have learned about that is that process, I know, intersects with therapy a lot because it requires a lot of introspection and a lot of emotional work. Mindfulness and self-compassion have been huge for me. There's just so much related to the work that we do in therapy that can be relevant to that work, even if you're not doing it in therapy. So I'd love to generate some discussion with that. And of course, I'll be sharing a lot of resources, to help you understand who I've learned this stuff from, because it's, rarely an original idea. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants where this stuff is concerned, So, the people of color and the feminist authors that I've learned from are, people whose names I'll be giving to you in case you're not familiar with them, so you can, deepen your study around that. The last thing I want to mention is interpersonal neurobiology. Now, this is still related to kind of how therapy works. It's not exactly a modality, but it's sort of an underlying framework that describes a lot of the stuff that our brains and nervous systems do. Obviously, it's not the kind of thing that rolls up easily to demystifying, because you can only demystify neuroscience so much, but there's so much cool stuff in here that I'm going to try and just pick and choose a few topics related to that I can try and break down and share. And that's stuff about like how our early experiences influence our attachments to our caregivers and how those patterns carry forward into our life. That's attachment theory, but something that's tied really closely to IP&B. Talking about how the different regions of our brain can influence our experiences, how our fight, flight, freeze reactions tie in with trauma and are largely informed by our nervous system, largely our vagus nerve, which is tied into polyvagal theory, which I'll get into more later. But there's just a lot of really fascinating stuff, and I find time and time again that when I share these concepts with people in my work, they find it really edifying. So I want to do that in the videos here too. Anyway, I think that's about all I have to share. If this sounds like the kind of stuff you're interested in, I hope that you'll like, follow, subscribe, do all that stuff. My website is soundtherapyaustin.com. I'll drop the URL here on the bottom of the screen. And I also have Facebook and Instagram pages. Both of those are facebook.com/ or instagram.com/duff.stoneson.therapy. And I can put that here on the screen as well. So that's pretty much what I've got, but I would love to have people engage. If you have questions or comments or things that you'd like me to follow up or say more about, put a comment in there and I'll get back to you. So thanks for taking the time to watch my video, and I look forward to seeing some of y'all around in the future. Thanks.